started live streaming, so whatever you say might be caught. I'll give you guys just.
No, I just started.
Oh, hold on, it's thinking, it's connecting. Okay, you guys are live.
Good morning and welcome to IT and Central Services monthly meeting. This is April 4th. It is 9 a.m. I'll call the meeting to order. First thing we'll do is have a roll call vote. I'm Kathy Owens, the chairman. Tina Bush. Here. Nancy Urick. Here. Joanne McNally. Hi. Brian Dose.
Here.
I've got Kendra and James Reed are both absent today. Let's see, no one's on WebEx. And any citizen comment? No. And I need a motion to approve previous minutes. Nancy, and second by Tina. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. As Tina and Nancy. Yeah. Okay, and we'll start with Tracy in Central Services.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
March figures for Central Services, microfilm documents, 60,625. Processed feet, 1,720. Scanned images, 63,869. 19 copy machines, 65,461. 3 digital printers, 66,698. Monthly bills, $42,052.23. Reimbursements to the general fund, $3,003.71. Central Services postage, $11,128.58. Circuit clerk postage, $685.61. County clerk postage, $85.45. ROE postage, $271.90. Postage 4-cent savings, $378.52. E-certified savings, $695.60. Shipping label savings, $32.55. Toner usage, $6,338.04. Toners purchased, $7,528.76. Have a total of $1,106.67 savings for March.
Thanks so much, Tracy.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Any questions on Tracy's report? None. I need a motion to accept her report. Brian, and a second by Joanne. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
We'll approve your bills now.
Okay.
A motion to approve her bills. Tina and Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, now John.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I handed out my report. The ticket ended up at 512 tickets total on the month of February. And then obviously the intrusion report is attached as well. Nothing out of the ordinary in there. I have one other thing I'll bring up on the report. So they're working on installing the new racks in the basement. And on Wednesday, they came across that 2 parts are missing for the rack. What appears to be happening, or has happened, when the racks left Rydell, they left on 2 semis. One semi was supposed to arrive here in the morning on the 14th. The next semi was supposed to arrive in the afternoon on the 14th. Well, Dayton Freight, sometime overnight, combined all that, because they picked them up on the 13th and then everything was supposed to get delivered the 14th. Well, sometime overnight, Dayton Freight condensed everything into 1 semi. And in doing so, we're missing 2 panels that hold the AC units onto the side of the rack. Initially, it was thought that we lost them. Like everyone's like going, well, they left our, you know, because the operations team. So Rydell goes, they were in the racks when they were shipped. Luckily enough, we have security footage outside of everything coming off the semi. We have security footage of maintenance, forklifting everything over to the back door, and then we have. I took pictures on my cell phone, like of all the racks and all the equipment that came in, and they're not there. So the thought is when Dayton Freight condensed everything to one semi, they lost the two side panels. Rydell was working with Dayton Freight to see if they could locate where those two side panels are. If not, they're trying to check inventory to see if they have them here in a warehouse to where they just cut the hole in the side of the panel and then ship them out to us. That was Wednesday. I was off yesterday. I didn't have an email from Rydell yesterday, so I followed up this morning asking for an update on has Dayton Freight found them, or are you guys shipping new ones? Where are we at with that? So it just kind of has us in a delay because they can't build the racks any further until those two parts are here. Because basically the racks are all together. We just need the side panels to then mount the AC units, and then the electrical can get done, and then we can get the fire suppression done. And so we're just kind of in a holding pattern until those show up. But since that happened after everything was generated in my agenda, I figured I'm just gonna throw that on the report because I want to make sure you guys were fully aware that we have a issue with the part missing and we're trying to work through it. So, but just creates delays on getting things done. Anybody have anything on any questions on my report? That's it for my report. I got to see, because I know I have a couple things I'm doing to do business. I want to we'll touch on old business. There's not really much in the old business because obviously I just talked about the rack situation, which that takes care of the fire suppression. Well, until the fire racks are done, we can't take the old racks out, so the IT floor is at a standstill. Office renovations are almost done. I have moved back upstairs to the office. Some of the furniture's back in to kind of clear the hall where we can put like Cheryl's desk and Nick's desk where it's up against the walls in a way. Those are back in, so the hallway's cleared a little bit, so we don't have all of our furniture taking up the whole hall. And then that's as far as like the IT floor office renovations goes. PC purchases. So for this fiscal year in the hardware budget, we budgeted for 226 PCs to be purchased because that is all sheriff, all jail, all nursing home, all health department, and then a few other departments that we're still trying to get on that 5-year cycle. So there's still some that are behind, more than 5 years old, that we got to replace. We were down to needing to order 72 more to get everything bought for the year. The problem is starting Monday, all PC prices are up 25% due to the new tariffs going in place. I talked to Don last week about this. The plan is just to buy the 72 today, get them bought, because if I wait till Monday, well, add 25%, and that I don't build 25% extra in my budget for something like this. So, but Don wanted me to come to committee, just make sure you guys are okay with me getting them all purchased, obviously before, because if that 25% goes in place and I wait, well, we're not getting all the PCs bought this year. So I just want to make sure committee's okay with me. Like I said, it's all budgeted, and I double checked my budget. I still have, I think, as of Wednesday, I still had 176,000 in my hardware line, and the PCs are going to cost like 105. So I'm still well in range of my hardware budget, but due to the fact it's buying a big lump sum versus like doing some throughout the year, because then we're gonna have a huge stockpile in the office of PCs now that we have to deploy, but it's better than paying 25% more. Anybody have any thoughts, concerns, issues with me working ahead?
I got a question on the rotation. I know that there's specific times that the companies will no longer support the particular PC, whether it's software, hardware, what it may be. Have you tried to extend that in any way, or is there an option where we could buy an extension on those operating systems so that we're not interfering with the fact that we have to buy new hardware? And maybe I'm understanding it incorrectly, but that's my interpretation of what's taking place.
Well, our big push is to make sure PCs are rotated on a 5-year basis. So every 5 years, every PC is replaced. That's because warranties run out. And now what we've started running into is with HIPAA. And that's where we come into why this is such a big year, is because in 2020, HIPAA changed their rules as to what operating systems were allowed. Well, as soon as operating systems retire, which means no more updates are coming out for it, we have to be on a new operating system. And so that's why the sheriff, the jail, the nursing home, and the health department all got changed all at once, because to be compliant with HIPAA, they all had to be done immediately because we had to be within compliance for us to stay there. So that's one of the big driving forces. And now Microsoft is going end of life on operating systems earlier than they ever were before. Now it's about 7 years. Before it was longer. I mean, Windows XP was around for 15 years, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're gonna stop doing updates. Well, now Windows 7, Windows 8, updates are all done. They're no longer doing them, so we have to get them out. And so that's kind of where we kind of run into some of these issues, is dealing with compliance and things like that. Now, I will say there are issues we do run into with some of our software vendors. Like county clerk was supposed to get replaced last year. Well, due to a piece of software they use won't work on Windows 10 or 11, so we're just kind of like, we've been in this holding pattern, but now she's looking at changing that software vendor. And as soon as she does, they'll get their new computers, but we have to order them now. We can't, now I just can't wait. But so like, there's things like that I do run into, but like the big amount this year is because of that whole HIPAA thing that started 5 years ago, where they kind of changed the rules. They're good rules, but they changed how those rules were enforced, and so we had to kind of bite the bullet and buy a whole bunch all at once. But health department pays for all theirs. Nursing home pays for all theirs. We're only responsible for the general fund ones, which is the sheriff and jail and any other department that we need to get caught up with. So next year, I think next year we'll probably be looking at maybe 60 computers, maybe 70 at the most. But like I said, we got to keep this 5-year cycle because obviously also, as you know, Tom, like when we had some of those lean years in like 2017, 2018 around here, and we were budgeting, like departments were trying to budget for PCs, they're in their budget. Well, then they get taken out because they would just cut money from like supply line. Well, that took their PCs out. Well, then we were running PCs at 7, 8, 9 years old. So we're trying to get all that caught up. So like, we know what to expect every 5 years. So we have a plan, a strategic plan of how these are getting replaced. So, and just try to keep that. And now that all comes out of my budget, unless they're a non-general fund entity.
So what leads what? Is it the software that's leading the process, or is it the hardware that's?
It's a combination of both, because I mean, once the warranties run out, I mean, I could be looking at, you look at maybe $200-300 in parts, and then you're looking at time and labor of the staff. I mean, you're halfway to a new computer sometimes by the time you get these things fixed. So once warranty's out, and then the operating systems gets out of date, and then it's no longer updated, well, then we're out of compliance and needs, so it's a combination.
Is your association or any group challenging that process at all, as far as?
Can't really challenge Microsoft. They kind of do what they want. It's like.
Oh, I think it'd be fun to try.
I can't challenge Microsoft. I can't challenge Apple. I'm just here to
Yeah.
make your guys' life easier, hopefully.
Thank you.
With the additional expenses, is that something to go to finance on, to let them know that with the additional increases in computer expenses that you may, in order to keep everything going, you may have to exceed your budget?
If I order today, I won't exceed my budget.
For everything, for the entire year?
Yeah, I foreseen some of this coming, and so most of my stuff, the switches I needed for this year, everything I needed for this year, we've kind of gotten done early. So I mean, I have 3 new servers, and I have a new stand sitting in the office ready to go in the new racks, because you could see the stuff coming for about a month. You can say, okay, at some point, all the stuff's going up. And so we've been really good about trying to make sure we've ordered everything we need for the year. So I should be well in line within my budget. Now, obviously, if we get closer to the end of the year and I go, oh, I have no crap moment, then, or something breaks and we have to exceed. But as of this moment, I do not foresee my budget being an issue as long as I order these 72 today.
Joanne?
The only question I have about the 72 is, are you sure that's the number you need?
Yes,
Like,
yes. We have.
they're not gonna go to waste or sit around,
No.
they're going to be used?
Well, they're gonna sit around for a short time because we've ordered the nursing home, health department, all the non-general funds have all been ordered already. We're waiting for those to come in. So we're talking 70 computers already we're waiting to come in. And now we're gonna put another 72. I mean, there's only so much time in a day, but we're gonna deploy them as fast
I
as we
understand.
can. But
How many total computers are there in the county?
roughly 400. Well, like I said, because when the HIPAA law changed in 2020, it forced us.
Yeah,
That's why, like every 5th year, it's a kind of a big thing. So you don't want, and I hate replacing PCs early. That's the other thing. Like,
No,
I mean,
I
we could spread it out and go, okay, we have 400, we're gonna do 100 a year. Well, now we're replacing a little bit sooner, but so.
Okay, any other questions for John? Joanne?
this is not about this, though. How did the election go? Any problems that you know of that were related to us?
No. It is fine.
Thank you.
Look at your face.
Okay, anything else for John here this morning? Okay,
Am I, you guys okay with the 72 then? Okay. Then we just have the executive session.
okay, all righty then. Okay, hold on, I'll get, okay, a motion to accept his report then. Tina and Joanne, all in favor? Opposed? Motion accepted. And we'll need a motion to pay his bills. Brian and Nancy. All in favor?
Hi.
Bye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay. We'll have an executive session.
Do that and open both those. Can you do that?
Need a motion to go into executive session for 5 ILCS 120/2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the county. Tina and Brian. And I'll need a roll call vote on that. Tina?
Aye.
Brian?
Hi.
Nancy? Joanne?
Aye.
And I am an aye. Motion passes.